There are a huge amount of Siege content creators. From people showing off their aim to people showing off tips and tricks, the Siege scene is diverse. Most creators love their jobs, but for some, it doesn't always work out. In today's video, I'll be going over 7 Siege creators who disappeared forever and why. The first Siege creator that I'm going to be going over today is Basically Homeless. Basically Homeless was one of the biggest Rainbow Six Siege content creators with a sub count of 2 million subscribers at the time of this recording. Not only does he have a large subscriber count, but he got a lot of views on his videos too. From this video titled Playing Ranked R6 Siege with a Wii Remote to this video titled The Worst Graphic Settings Ever in R6 Siege, both of these videos have over 5 million views per video. Most content creators, even the biggest ones to this day, average around 20,000 views on their channel, so over 5 million was insane. So why did he get just so many views compared to the average creator? Well, simply put, his videos were worth watching. He was unique, funny, and interesting, especially compared to most other Siege creators. He wouldn't just clip funny moments from his ranked games or give tips and tricks. No, he would find ways to break or even hack the game no one else even thought of before. I mean, just take a look at the Wii Remote video I showed you earlier.
Prepare your eyes, nerds. Prepare your eyes. Look at this. It works. It works. This is so sick, dude. This is actually going to be usable. Like, I'm going to be able to shoot people fast. Like,
Op 4 has deployed a diffuser. You need to destroy it.
To your left.
Diffuser located.
What? What is going on?
what? Like, what?
Are you playing
To
with
left.
a controller? What the fuck?
Left. Oh my god.
Dude, it looks like he's playing with a controller.
Bro, are you fucking high?
Are you good, bro?
In this video, he somehow found a way to not only get Siege working on the Wii, but he was able to trick the game into thinking a normal controller was plugged in when in reality he had a Wii remote plugged in. It was clear that not only did he have smarts for what good content was, but that he also had the brain for software as well. Doing things like hacking the game to make his graphics look terrible, to finding a way to play Siege with a literal pineapple. He's a creative guy. It's no wonder he has the following that he does, or at least that he had. So what exactly happened to Basically Homeless? Basically Homeless leveraged his audience to be able to build a relationship with the publisher of the game, Ubisoft. He built such a good relationship with them, in fact, that for the release of the new Ela Elite skin, they flew him out to release a trailer for it. Basically Homeless was stoked, because not only was this a crazy cool opportunity to get his name out there, but also this was the confirmation he needed to know that Ubisoft was okay with him hacking the game if it meant that he'd be making content for everyone to enjoy. But that couldn't actually be further from what Ubisoft had in mind. When Basically Homeless was flown out, it was an ambush. When he arrived on the set, the idea was fairly simple. He would play the new Ela with the new Ela Elite skin while playing the game on an Ela mine. Very on brand with his content and something he'd enjoy doing. But what Ubisoft didn't know is that Basically Homeless did more than just hack random things into controllers. There were some times when he crossed the line from ethical hacking to non-ethical hacking. The specific video that would cross this line in Ubisoft's eyes was the video titled Ranked, but all 10 players are me. In this video, he found a way to play as not only all 5 of his teammates on the same ranked team, which is crazy by the way, but as all of the enemies as well.
I'm not ever gonna get old. The 3-speed walks faster. This is terrifying. Oh, what are they thinking, dude? Imagine you come into a game and
Say what now?
What am I? Who do I? What do I do? What do I do?
Walk to the east spawn. Yeah, this way.
I don't know what crack shit I'm about to experience. Oh my god.
Compared to his other videos, why this video is the one that Ubisoft picked as the worst of them all is still up for debate, but how exactly did they find out in the first place? Well, they didn't at first. That's why they flew him out and gave him all of these crazy opportunities, because they didn't actually know the extent that he took his content sometimes. But on the set of recording this trailer, Ubisoft found out. The person in charge of the shoot was seen reacting to the video, and when she did, Basically Homeless actually got banned for cheating on the account they were using live in front of everyone on set when they were recording. This was not a good look, and would be the catalyst for what ruined the relationship between Basically Homeless and Ubisoft forever. When Basically Homeless would fly home, he got news that Ubisoft would still pay him half of the money he was owed for the trailer, but that the tie between them would be severed forever. The trailer wouldn't be released as well, and because of the soured relationship with Ubisoft, neither would Basically Homeless's next 2 videos. Because he didn't post any Siege content after this happened, he just ended up switching switching to variety content and hasn't looked back since. I think the punishment was a bit too strict in my opinion, and the least they could have done was talked about it, but that's all over with now. Basically Homeless has actually been doing better than ever before, and if he was still in the Siege space, he'd probably be doing worse than he is now. So it seems that in the end, it was a win-win situation for both parties. The same thing cannot be said for the next Siege creator on this list, who was Serenity17. Serenity17 was your favorite Siege creators. This is proven by the fact that he is an old content creator for Siege, but also that he has almost 1 million subscribers. Serenity17 would at his peak upload content of his gameplay, often showing funny moments or cool hiding spots he'd use in ranked to get him free kills.
Oh, how did he not see me? Master 2, at least. Maverick, Ivana.
Oh, he walked in from
Let them come, man. Let them come. Fuck.
west.
What? Where are you?
Come on. Let's go, dude. Let's go. I got another one.
Last chance.
Oh, that's the.
Yo, let's get Lion.
Breaking your ally wasn't very challenging.
Serenity, that
If
is
you
the
remain in this zone, you will be detected by hostiles. You have been spotted by hostiles.
Whoa, let's go.
No way.
Oh my god.
Serenity17 was a good player, and watching his content was fun, but after a while of making Siege content, he would upload for the last time 6 years ago. He made content from the start of the game, which was almost 10 years ago, so he was a content creator for Siege for a good 4 years. So what happened that made him stop making content completely, especially for someone his size? Well, it actually wasn't immediate. It was a slow, grueling process that eventually led him to fizzle out of the scene slowly as a whole. Serenity17 just burned out and quit. Why did he do this? Well, to be honest, he was living the dream. He had made content creation for his favorite game a reality, but with that came opportunity. He not only wanted to make content, but he also wanted to play the game competitively and play outside both of those things too. But when you play a game all day, every day, even when you don't really feel like it, just to stream to people who don't care about you to risk not getting as many views as you want, it just gets boring. When people imagine being a content creator, they imagine fame, wealth, and parties, but the sad reality about the job is that most of the time it's just you alone in your room playing a game all day every day that you're tired of. So when Serenity17 realized this and started battling with depression on the side, he decided to take a 1-month break. This break would help him a lot, to be fair, and afterwards he would continue the content grind, but after a while the same thing happened again. He didn't know why he was depressed about his situation or what he could do to stop it, but he knew something had to change. So in one of his last videos, he talked about wanting to branch out to other games on his channel, which he unfortunately never even did. If everyone is watching you for Siege clips and you want to play League of Legends, no one is going to watch the video that you make, even if it's the best video in the entire world. So why risk losing the views and money alongside it when he could suck it up and just stream for a few hours for some YouTube content? Well, he wouldn't, and that's exactly what he did. He did it until quitting YouTube permanently for his mental health was the only other option, which is why 8 years ago he would stream live for the very last time, and 6 years ago he would upload his final YouTube video. It's unfortunate how burnout from the game you love can be what makes you hate the game in the first place. Someone else who can attest to the truth of that feeling is the next content creator on this list, who is Shock. Shock was a Siege content creator for the better part of 7 years, originally starting as a console player, moving to PC in 2017. Shock was one of the first content creators people watched for his raw mechanics. He was naturally good at the game, and when push came to swing, he won most of the gunfights that he took. This quickly shot him not only up the content ladder, but also the competitive ladder, having him on teams with the likes of Iconic and J90, who are currently pro players right now, when he was under 18. Rated as one of the best underage players for his time, as well as amassing over 400,000 subscribers on YouTube, Shock has made big waves in the Siege community. But Shock didn't just make content with clips. When Shock grew his Discord server, he actually found more fun and abundant content opportunity when hosting custom games between his viewers. This is shown by the fact that his biggest video to date is this video titled "Can 5 Champions Beat 5 Pro Players in Rainbow Six Siege?"
Pro players. So in this video, I took 5 of the highest level champion players, some of which who have actually been ranked #1 in the world, and put them up against 5 of the best pro players in the world.
This video would gather an insane 3.1 million views and would make Shock a lot of money on the side. So why did Shock go from both rich and famous with Siege to leaving the game just 1 year later? Well, he didn't really get tired of making content for the game. He just got tired of the game in general. Let me me explain. Before Operation Demon Veil or before Jinxie completely revived the game, Siege at this point was a dying game. There was no fresh content, the meta was unbalanced, and the game, for lack of a better sentiment, was just unfun. This slowly killed Shock's interest in the game, but what sealed the deal for Shock and his career to leave the game entirely was actually much later down the line in Year 8. In Year 8, Jinxie blew Rainbow Six Siege up to double its all-time player count high. But with wanted attention, you also get unwanted attention. In Siege's case, this unwanted attention was cheaters. When everyone saw that Siege was getting super popular again and more people were playing it, cheat developers saw this as a game they should spend money and resources on to make cheats for. This, paired up with Siege being a very easy game to make cheats for, made the game, for the better part of a year, completely unplayable at the highest level on PC. Even to this day, after most cheats are gone, in Diamond Elo and above on PC, the game has wallers at least 50% of all the games that you play. With this, and Shock seeing the game already on a decline, he decided to leave content creation for Rainbow Six Siege. Keywords for Rainbow Six Siege. You see, right as he was thinking of this decision, a new game had just come out. To Shock, this game was insanely fun and had a lot of potential. To Shock, this game was insanely fun, had a lot of potential, looked good, and most of all, was free to play. This game was, and still is, the finals. After playing nothing but the finals, even on stream for days straight, some nights not even going to bed until 1 PM the next day, Shock had the idea to maybe switch from Siege to the finals. After about 2 weeks of thinking about this decision, he decided to just upload a video about the game to his channel. This wasn't him fully switching, but rather just testing the waters. And what he found was that this video did better than his average Siege video. So after testing even more videos in the space, Shock decided to make the switch for good. Since then, Shock has been doing better than he ever was in the later stages of his Siege career on the finals. The same cannot be said for the next two creators on my list, being Get Flanked and Rogue9. I'm pairing both of these two content creators together on this list because without explaining what happened to one of them, you can't understand what happened to the other. This is because they both left Siege as a career because they had beef with each other that would eventually make it to where neither of them wanted the public spotlight anymore. From drama with Ubisoft to false accusations, let's dive into what actually happened with Get Flanked and Rogue9. Get Flanked and Rogue9 met each other through content creation separately on their own respective channels. They both made the same type of content, so when they met, their friendship quickly blossomed. They would use this as a stepping stone to eventually make their own podcast with a third person called the Hot Breach Podcast. The Hot Breach Podcast was essentially a Rainbow Six Siege podcast for anything game related. Patch notes, esports, balancing changes, the meta, you name it, they talked about it. And at first, it was really cool, but when Ubisoft would invite them out to record an episode in the Ubisoft recording studio, everything went wrong. Because you see, what I didn't tell you at first was that while all of this was going on, Rogue9 had actually secretly been flirting with and messaging a Ubisoft employee. To Rogue9's dismay, this same Ubisoft employee was actually the head of the event that they were about to go to. Pretty unlucky. For the most part, between him and the girl, the feelings were actually mutual. But when they had the opportunity to be flown out and for him to meet her, she just completely stonewalled him and wanted to keep the relationship quote-unquote professional. But when the two arrived at the dinner before the recording session, it was anything but professional. Ubisoft employees treated this more like a vacation and used Tinder as an iceberg to break into conversation with the three people on the podcast. Sounds professional enough to me, I guess, but when Rogue9 was visibly uncomfortable by this, everything for him changed for the worse. The employees started treating him like an annoyance and treated him extremely unprofessionally once they heard the rumor that he had been flirting with the girl in charge of the entire event. This, mixed in with more unpleasant experiences, led Rogue9 to have a horrible relationship with Ubisoft moving forward. But the worst part about it is that you'd think his friends on his podcast would be on his side about it, but they weren't, especially not Get Flanked. It turns out that Get Flanked had been talking badly about him behind his back to Ubisoft just to actually get a better relationship with Ubisoft himself, instead of siding or sticking up for his friend and the man he had just recorded a podcast episode with. With Rogue9 finding this out, he was kicked off the podcast podcast, and it seemed that that was it for Rogue9. Get Flanked would also post a video to his second channel talking about why he kicked Rogue9 off, spreading a lot of lies in the process to cover up himself. But Rogue had one bullet still left in the chamber. One bullet that would change everything. He would post a video to his channel titled Get Flanked Lied, and Macy J corrected his previous comment. In this video, Rogue9 goes over everything Get Flanked said, with hard evidence essentially showing that Get Flanked had lied through his teeth.
Arrangement. You know that Thursday evening where I mysteriously didn't get informed about the dinner plans? That really never made any sense to me. Is it really all a coincidence that I was the only one who didn't know about the dinner plans and that I received no concrete answer from 4 different people I messaged? Is it really just chance that it's the very next day when the rude little comments and behaviors from Ubisoft staff towards me really started to escalate? Maybe Get Flanked secretly went out to dinner with the Ubisoft guys that night, and maybe he'd been passing on my private comments and discussions all along. Or maybe not. And you know what? There's more. As you will have seen from the messages I showed earlier, the final private discussion I had about the personal contact that I'd had before the workshop ended with an agreement to let the past be the past and to work together professionally going forward. But then on Friday, before the podcast was even done, this person blocked or deleted me on every single social media app that we'd connected on. Now, there are 2 possible explanations for this. Either the message from Monday evening about keeping things strictly professional going forward was just one more lie, and there'd been a plan all week long to wait until after the podcast to block me. Or the other alternative is something happened in the meantime that changed the situation. Something like Get Flanked going out to dinner with them the night before and dishing the dirt.
With this drama in the air, Get Flanked would try to maintain a Siege career, but couldn't. Luckily for him though, he talked so badly about his friend to Ubisoft, which made him look so good, that now he's working at Ubisoft to this day, and doesn't make Siege content anymore as a consequence of that. Rogue9 though, isn't as lucky. And just like with Get Flanked, Rogue9 would try to make content after, but just fizzled out in the end. Whether it was out of embarrassment for the two or not, we'll never truly know. Someone's reason for leaving the content scene that I do know about though is our next creator, BadR6. BadR6 for the most part was an informational Siege creator, making solo Q-Strat videos for the average ranked player.
What I am about to show you is perhaps the most effective, consistent, and game-winning strategy you may ever use in Rainbow Six Siege.
His strats were good, and the best part about it is that he used them in-game against high-level players to actually show you how they worked and that they worked in the first place. Content like this was what blew him up to the sizable channel he owned, amassing over 50,000 subscribers in total. So what made him stop making content with such a lucrative career ahead of him? Well, the truth behind that answer is the same truth behind the answer of Serenity 17, and that is game burnout. He got tired of not only the game, but making content for it as a whole. When he tried to do variety content, he wasn't as successful as someone like, let's say, Shock was. This would ultimately kill his channel and force him to keep making Siege content and get him to post variety content that he wanted to actually make on a second channel. The likes of which, by the way, I can't find anymore using links that previously worked, making me think that he deleted this channel as well. But that isn't confirmed, and 7 months ago, he would stop posting on his main channel as well. But BadR6 isn't the only content creator with little known about where he went and why he left, because the final content creator on this list also has a shroud of mystery around why he left and where he went as well. This content creator being Gavinacity. Gavinacity was a content creator with 200,000 subscribers. He was a creator doing tit videos, but what separated him from others was his way of throwing his personality into the videos and making them unique. A video that shows off this perfectly is the video titled 5 More Things That Only Noobs Do in Rainbow Six Siege.
Seriously, most of these are just kind of jokes. I know a lot of people got kind of upset that I said picking Tachanka as newbie in the last video, but this is all just for fun. It is supposed to be cringy. It's supposed to hopefully make you laugh. But moving into 5 more things that only noobs do in Rainbow Six Siege. The first thing is going to have to be reinforcing walls in between bomb sites when playing on bomb. A lot of times it can be important to open up the walls between bombs to help get a better sight on the objective. So one of the most frustrating things is when a noob comes in and just reinforces the wall between bombs. Alright guys, what should we reinforce? I'm going to get right here in between the bombs just to kind of make things safe.
No, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm reinforcing it.
No.
Gotta reinforce it. We gotta keep it safe.
No, stop.
Come on.
You're not supposed to do that, dude.
Why?
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god. This is what you get for disgracing the Lord, you fucking asshole.
So with somebody with so much potential in what he did and so much success on the line, why did Gavinacity quit the game? Well, to be honest with you, of everyone I've talked about, there is the least amount of information on the internet on why this guy quit the game and his career. But according to Garfield is Doc in his video titled Forgotten R6 Creators, Where Are They Now?, he talks about a conversation he had with Gavinacity before he left that sheds some light onto this topic. In this video, Gavinacity essentially said that he got a real job that paid him well enough to where he didn't need to rely on the money from Siege content. He also just didn't find the game fun anymore, because when people are relying on you to make good content for them, your game becomes more about pleasing the viewers with good clips than it does about just enjoying the game. The game just becomes stale and not fun anymore, and neither does making content. Aside from those two things, not much else is known about where he went or why he left. But with that out of the way, that is it for today's video. Check out this next video, and I'll see you there.